Hey guys, Darth Thork here, back with part 1 of our brand new side game. We will be playing through If My Heart Had Wings. So, recently we did a visual novel on the channel, and it was awesome. We recently did, was it Sakura Sadist? No, it wasn't Sakura Sadist, it was Highway Blossom's Next Exit. And we did that like 5 days ago, and I'm really sorry it took so long to get out a side game. I was crippled by indecision for some reason. Regardless, we're back, and we're jumping into another visual novel. Now, this one will be interesting because this one is blind. It is 100% blind. I played this game like 5 minutes or something when I first bought it. It was on a really good sale at the time, and so I picked it up last year sometime, I think, something like that. Regardless, so 100% blind for this one, but I am trying to do more games blind, and I'm really looking forward to it. So, to my understanding, this one has more feels, based upon what the synopsis kind of sounded like. This one will probably have some more feels going on. I don't really get the feeling that this is like just like a dumb, ecchi, kind of cute little ecchi visual novel. I don't really get that feeling for this one. So I imagine that unlike Sakura Sadist or whatever, it'll be a lot more, it'll be a little more real. There'll be a little bit more feels coasting around. A lot like a Next Exit, actually, I imagine. But regardless, we are here, and like I said, it's blind. So this is the first time I've recorded with my PC since my rear range. So if audio balancing is weird, I do apologize. It is a work in progress. I am getting used to recording Xbox and then also PC with my new rearrangement. And so audio balancing is, as always, a work in progress. So if it's not great, I sincerely apologize, but alas, it is what it is. Anyway, but it will be made better in time. So, settings-wise should all be okay. Hopefully audio balancing's alright. And otherwise, let's just hop right into it. I'm assuming it won't start a new save. Or I'm assuming it'll start a new save automatically. This looks a lot like an intro to me. Anyway, before we really hop into this, I do also have a Snapple in front of me to keep my voice nice and moist to make reading easier. Before we hop into it, real fact, number 753, little hard to tell. A group of goats is called a trip. Now you know. Delicious apple juice. Alright, anyway. Let's do it. I'm ready. My body is prepared. The bicycle road race is known as a really harsh sport. The bicycle is... I'm not sure how good the English is going to be in this one either, so here's hoping that it's decent. The hill climb in the middle is hell, too. While putting strain on every muscle in your body, you have to continue pedaling without any brakes to climb a steep hill. At that time, I always think, I can't do this anymore. I'll make this race my last. Even though I think that every time, in the end, I still take part in the next race. I've endured severe training so that I don't put my feet down halfway through the hill climb. Why do I do that? Because once I finish the hill climb, I am waiting for my reward. And that's just science. Nothing compares to the feeling of cutting through the wind as I race down the downhill section at blistering speed. At that moment, I feel an incredible rush. Then I realize that I have forgotten about everything. The pain of the hill climb, the strain on every muscle in my body, and the days of hard practice. It's not a matter of whether I win or lose the race. I just enjoy it, and that's why I continue to ride. That's how it should have been. That's how it should have been. Until the Fire Nation attacked. No, it's an older meme, but it checks out. Alright, I still didn't have much life experience at that time, and it was something beyond my imagination. Suddenly, without warning, something was taken from me. I could always say shut away or lost. However, to directly express the emotion I felt at the time, taken is the word that fits best. So, that was one thing that I learned. Life isn't all about having fun. I gained a lesson in life. The thing I lost was everything. I let myself get depressed about this, but I should have thought about it a little more. If everything could be taken from me so abruptly, then something could be given to me just as suddenly. That's a very positive way of looking at that. The wind blew. As a gentle but strong wind, it would not be unreasonable to call it an encounter. What could this, what this could be, what this could be the start of, my brain just, like, shut down. I, like, could not process what that was. Even now, there's still no way for me to know. So really quick, I mentioned I have no idea how long this game is. I know that there's multiple routes for sure, and I do have a guide, not currently open, but it is, minimized. I do have a guide, and it's a spoiler-free guide, so it's just gonna tell me which, because apparently there's five routes to take for 5 different girls. And so we will be getting all of them, and I do have a spoiler-free guide in front of me to just guide me which dialogue choices to go down. And so we will be following a guide to make sure we get them all. So just so you know, but it's still blind. I still have no idea what I'm doing. The windmill is turning. People are overwhelmed just because of the size of such enormous things. This unnatural silhouette serves a function, but to those who don't know what that is, it would appear to be something very bizarre. I mean, it's not that bizarre. I mean, supposedly it generates electricity, but it always seemed hard for me to believe that there'd be enough wind to push those things without help and generate any electricity. It doesn't seem like a net gain to me, but I'm not an electrician, and I don't design these giant windmills, so, what do I know, right? Anyway, with so many lined up like this, it could be said to be even more overwhelming. But why is that? The sight of the white windmills lined up on the green hills somehow seems so picturesque. This is amazing to think that something like this could be made. At the very least, 5 years ago, there was nothing here, just a wide open space. I heard they were going to build a very large-scale renewable energy research facility. The cell phone in my pocket vibrated to tell me I had received a text. It's from Anne? I mean, I would say, like, Anne, like, maybe? It's from Anne-chan? I don't know. It's a nickname of a real name, so I'm not sure how they would pronounce that. To Aoi? Aoi? To Aoi. I'm never gonna pronounce that. That's rough. Did you arrive here yesterday? Sorry I couldn't come to meet you. My name is written using a Chinese character read as Aoi? Oh my god. This might be a mistake. I'm not sure I could read this. It's a difficult character, no kidding, and it's often mistaken for Midori. I wish it was so I could easily pronounce it. And incidentally, whether it is Aoi or Midori, it is often mistaken for a girl's name, which causes a few problems. I'll quickly write a reply. I hardly ever use text, so I find the key touch awkward to use. I get here a little too early, so I'm just going for a stroll. The windmills are amazing. Okay, send. The reply came quickly. They're great, aren't they? It's the new famous spot of Kazagura. Kazagura? No, it's Kazagaura. I'm not sure. If you have any problems, contact me anytime. Anchan? Anchan? I'll probably say Anchan, maybe. Thank you, person. As I sent the text, I sat down on the grass. This place is on the hillside, so from there, I was able to gaze at the lake and the town that stretches across the opposite bank. The rapid redevelopment of the town of Kazagura, I'm just going to say Kazagura, so, it is what it is. Kazagura meant that the remnants of the old buildings from the Showa era are intermingled with the modern architecture. The view expresses both the past and the future at the same time. Something white flitted across my field of vision. For a moment, it looked like one of the windmill blades had come flying off, but there's no way that could happen. It's a paper airplane? I got up and headed down the slope to look for it. The paper airplane, gliding gently, eventually lost its momentum and descended. Gotcha. I ran ahead of it, did a small jump, and caught it in midair. Where did this come flying from? Judging by the direction, it had come from the top of the hill. At the time, in a place like this, there could be someone, could there be someone here besides me? I mean, probably. There's a lot of people. I mean, I don't know how big this town is. It could be dinky. I don't know. I took the paper airplane with me as I climbed up the slope. Just as I was able to see the top, a sudden gust of strong wind blew the paper airplane out of my hand. Ah, hey, wait! I chased after the paper airplane and ran up the slope. The music is very soothing. It's very, very soothing. Ah, yes. If my heart had wings is what that says. I assume. I assume. Then, just as I finally caught it... You know, I feel like I played too many really dark things, because something just very innocent and very lighthearted, I immediately feel very, very suspicious. I'm incredibly suspicious of, you know what I mean? I'm very, very suspicious of. Like, I get like so many like Doki Doki Literature Club vibes, or I don't know, like what was the other one I played that was super insane? How to Date a Magical Girl? Like, I'm not. I think I'm jaded, is what it comes down to. I think I'm a little bit jaded because I'm incredibly suspicious. Anyway, pretty girl, wheelchair, we're here. There was someone at the top of the hill. It was a girl sitting in a wheelchair. Looking fleetingly into the distant sky, a sudden breeze blew her hair and she combed it back with her fingers. Against the background of the blue sky and windmills that spread across my view, the girl's black hair and white blouse looked incredible. She does look incredible. It was as if I was looking at a completed work of art. The girl noticed me. At first I thought I could make an excuse for why I was there. It was like I had stepped into her world without permission, and I started to feel guilty. She's not saying anything. Some guy had just suddenly appeared, so perhaps she's being cautious. To show her the reason why I had come here, I held out the paper airplane. Did you throw this? The moment she saw it, her facial expression stiffened. She looked like she's welling up. Suddenly, tears appeared in those delicate eyes. Huh? What? The tears that had welled up in the corners of her eyes came running straight down. So it got to you. As I watched, those big tears came rolling down her cheeks. Huh? Hey! Without thinking, I walked up beside her. It's probably not how he said that. He's probably not like, hey! He's like yelling at this poor girl. He's probably just like he probably said it soothingly, I imagine. Soothingly. What's wrong? Are you hurt? Do you hurt somewhere? Shakes head. As she shook her head, she touched the hand that I had unconsciously held out as if she were clinging to it. Her hand was small and trembling. I was scared. Squeeze. She gently squeezed my hand. It's okay now. I didn't even know what the situation was. However, as I answered, I squeezed her hand back. You get it? Bird noises. Ow! Ow! Before I knew it, there was something like a chicken at my feet, and all of a sudden it started pecking me. That's a cute hat on a little chicken. It also looks more like a duck than a chicken. Ow, that hurts. What is this thing? Is that its name? That's adorable. Which, I mean, it makes sense, right? I was about to say, that is a duck. Tell me that's not a duck. Look at that. That is not a chicken. Alright, that's not what a chicken looks like. Hat, as it was called, calmed down at her command. Is it a duck? Oh, there we go. Okay, thank you. Someone said it. With a yellow beak and white feathers, it was a duck that looked like a chicken. It does not look like a chicken at all. I mean, it's white, but you know, it's all, just because it's white and a bird doesn't mean it's a chicken. For some reason, it was wearing a hat. I'm sorry, it's because I was crying. It seems like you mistakenly thought you had made me cry. Ah. So this is how surprising it is to be suddenly attacked by an animal. However, thanks to that, it looks like she had stopped crying. Is a towel okay? I don't carry a handkerchief around with me. As I said that, without waiting for her to reply, I took a hand towel out of my bag. Of course, it had been washed, so it was clean. Thank you. Why were you crying? If it hurts somewhere... That's not it. As she answered, she pointed to one of the wheels of her wheelchair. It had lost its air and had collapsed. You got a flat tire? Oh, yikes. Because of that, I've been stuck here. I've been here for an hour already. That's a terrible thing to happen. Just a mere flat tire. For her, it's like having her legs taken away. Don't you have a cell phone? I left it in my room. It's weird because obviously it is voice acted, but obviously it's in Japanese, and so it's like I'm hesitant to read over it because like audio balancing wise, I'm a little worried that like if I mute it enough that I can speak right over the top of her, then I'm a little worried that you won't even be able to hear the music or anything. So it's like I'm more tempted to wait until they're done talking and then translate. Like the other option is I could just leave it so that like I might not read their parts. But the problem with that is, like, silently, I'm a pretty fast reader, so I'm a little worried if I just read it to myself and then moved on, that you guys might, because if you guys weren't as fast as I was, you might have to pause it every time, and then you would miss out on what's happening. So, I mean, I guess this is a good in-between, right? I suppose. Anyway, I left it in my room. She answered, dismayed. That's why I thought of another way to call for help. That way, if there is someone who can get my SOS and come here for me. SOS? Oh, this. I opened up the paper airplane that I still had in my hand. I'm in trouble. Someone help me. I'm on Windmill Hill. But, so when someone arrived carrying the paper airplane, she felt relieved and started to cry? Now she was fine, but up until now, she was shaking. That must be how scared she was. Hold on a moment. The back of my feet rustled as I rummaged around inside it. When she saw the tools that I had taken out, she seemed confused. Would it be okay for you to get out of here, to get out for a moment? Why? I'm gonna fix it. You can't go anywhere if you have a flat tire, can you? Well, yeah, but, Her voice is so cute. Would you be able to give me a hand? Of course. Getting out of the wheelchair is not easy. It's not easy for her. What should I do? Yeah, I'm just silent. From the methods I've seen on TV, the care workers do it by embracing them from the front. We both looked as though we'd imagined that situation and froze. I think I'll do it myself. Excuse me a moment. As I put my arms around her sides to her back, I suddenly lifted her up. I don't feel like doing that, like surprising her with it was a wise move. It's just like gently and nicely offer to help her, be like, no, it's fine, really, I don't care, or whatever. Like, I feel like that would be a better in-between, personally, but whatever. Whoa, she's so light. Because she was much lighter than I'd expected, there was a bit too much momentum. I can guess what's about to happen. Oh. Before she could grasp the situation, I put her down on the soft grass. I'll have it done soon, so hold on a moment. Sure. They're made in the same way as bicycle tires. I immediately started on the repairs. Why is he carrying? Oh, right, he was on a bike ride. Isn't that what isn't like, because that was the intro. So he was on a bike ride, so conveniently he actually has all these, like, you know, bike repair tools. So I guess that actually makes sense. That tracks. Okay. Just for a minute, I was like, hey, wait a minute. She's behind me so I can see her expression, but I had a feeling I was being stared at with contempt. As I was quietly working, the duck was waddling around me and pecking at the soil. Is this duck your pet? Yeah, no, that's a really weird response. No, he isn't. We're housemates. Housemates? I thought I'd go outside and he started to follow me. Hat? Oh, she's not done, sorry. I have no way of knowing, obviously. Hat, don't get too far, you'll get left behind. Do ducks recognize their own names? When he's called, he responds by turning around. Hey, he's pretty smart. Yes, he is. That's why he's so much trouble. He's always getting into mischief. Ah, yes, you know how ducks are. As I looked at the duck, I saw her legs laid out on the grass in my field of vision. So she can't move them. There was a number of reasons why people need to use a wheelchair, but it looks like she had a disability in her legs. When I picked her up just now, her body stiffened up with surprise, but there was no strength at all in her legs. The duck returned from his little excursion. While walking around her, he would occasionally try to jump onto her lap. Get off of me, she said as she made him get down again. As I watched this exchange from the corner of my eye, I fixed the flat tire.
男の子ってすごいのね。そんな道具いつも持ち歩いてるんだ。
Like they just always do that. Boys are great, aren't they? They always walk around with those kinds of tools. That's not really the case, though. I sometimes carry them with me.
私、草の上に座るのなんて久しぶり。柔らかくて気持ちいい。
Oh my gosh, her voice is so cute. I can't even. This is the first I've sat on the grass in ages. It's soft and feels nice. As she said that, she made a little sound as she stretched. I'm not doing that. I'll ruin it for you.
いいところよね。ここ。
This is a nice place, isn't it? Yeah, it is.
部屋の窓から見えるのよ。一度来てみたかったの。
I can see it from my window. I wanted to come here just once. The wind blows through here. 5 years ago, there was no windmills, though.
5年前?
5 years ago? I've just come back to this town.
そうなんだ。
Oh, really? She directed her gaze at something far away.
じゃああなたは故郷に帰ってきたんだ。
So you've come back to your hometown? Yeah. She suddenly looked down and seemed lonely and strangely sad. There was an awkward silence as I continued working. The duck twisted its neck to look up at the sky.
どうしたの？ハット。
What is it, Hat? She was tempted to look up too. And then a meteor ruined everything.
何かしらあれ。
I wonder what that is. What's that?
何か飛んでる。
Something is flying. There was something floating in the air. It was crossing the lake and gradually getting closer. Ah, yes! I think it's like a glider, you know? I don't think it has an engine. It's way too skinny. I'm pretty sure. I think it's just a glider. At first I thought it was a paper airplane that she had thrown coming back to us. But it wasn't. It crossed the lake and eventually reached the air above the small hill where we were. An airplane? I keep pausing thinking that's her and not me, but it's me. It's not paper, it's a real plane. But what is this? Its silhouette is much thinner than any plane I know, and the wings are really big.
グライダーだ。
That called it. That's what I said. It's a glider.
間違いない。あれ、グライダーよ。
No doubt about it. That's a glider. A glider? Speaking of planes, you can hear one outside my window. Although with my mic turned down, you guys might not be able to hear that. Anyway, I repeated the name as if to confirm it, and then looked up to the sky once more. With its big white wings and wide silhouette, it reminded me of somewhat of a seagull.
ほら、見て。旋回してる。綺麗ね。
Hey, look, it's turning. It's so pretty. The glider is continuing to turn leisurely above our heads. It's flying ever so slowly.
当然よ。水力がないんだもの。
Of course, it doesn't have any thrust. As it proceeded slowly across the blue sky, it seemed to be floating rather than flying. Floating rather than flying.
あんな風に飛ぶんだ。
To fly on the wind like that. It looks like it would feel nice. Yeah.
降りてきた。
It's coming down. The turning glider looks as if it had given up on rising and came down towards the top of our hill. I mean, it's not like it was coming down to land. It was just reducing its altitude. Why don't we try waving? They might notice us. Yeah. She earnestly stretched out her hand and waved towards the white aircraft floating in the sky. Hey! I'm not reading that. You get it, it's a duck. I don't have to translate for that one. How many noises could ducks make anyway? I don't know if the pilot noticed us or not. However, the wings reflected a gleaming light, and it really did look as if it was answering us, calling out to it. Then the glider turned its back to us and flew away back to the other side of the lake where it had came from.
ちょっと。
It's gone. It's gone. Sorry, my head was turned the other way. I don't know if you could hear me the first time. She mumbled sadly as she lowered her hand. And there you go. That's it. Ah, apple juice. It's been a long time since I had just like regular old apple juice. Extend the little wings which fly to the sky highly. I don't know if I'm supposed to read that or not. Or if that's just like an intermission loading screen or a, you know, I don't know. Alright. Ah, yes, the cicada's going at it right now. It just sounds hot. It just sounds hot. And not like in a sexy way. It just literally sounds like it must be really, really hot outside. If whenever I hear cicadas, it's like conditioned me to think it must be really hot, you know? I don't know if that's true, but it just comes with the word sweltering. It just makes the word sweltering come to mind. Like the sweltering oppressive heat or humidity. Every time that's what I think. Anyway, I fixed the flat tire and went with her into the town. This is the residential area of the opposite bank of the lake to Windmill Hill where we just were. Where we were just now.
ここでいいわ。
This place is nice. I'll take you back to our home. To your home. Sorry. Not our home. He's like, our, I don't even know you, dude. I don't even know your name. It's your home.
いい。
No, it's okay. It seems like she was gonna say but before she stopped speaking. For a girl with a walking disability, just because she was shown a little kindness, she can't bring some guy she hardly knows back to her house.
ありがとう。おかげで助かったわ。
Thank you. Because of you, I was saved. Don't mention it. If your tire ever goes flat again, call me anytime. I only said it as a joke, but she blushed and looked down nervously.
わ。あのね、ありがとう。
Thank you. Silence. He's just like, what? If you're thanking me, you already did that just now.
ちょっとだけ楽しかった。友達と遊ぶみたいで。
She's so adorable. It was quite fun, like spending time with a friend. I just like the art. The art's so shiny and pretty. Look how pretty her eyes are. Anyway, sorry. Yeah, me too. And I saw something unusual too. The glider that we had just seen was now flying in the air above the hill where we were just now.
私も本物を見たの初めて。
So did I. That's the first time I've seen a real one.
素敵な思い出ができちゃった。
I now have some wonderful memories. She murmured quietly and giggled. Coupled with her cute and dainty appearance was her lovely, lovely smile.
それじゃあもう行くわね。
Well then, I'd better get going. Okay, take care.
ええ。
Sure. The wheels squeaked as she pushed the wheelchair along with her hands down an empty street. Behind her, the duck wearing a hat waddled along with her. Hey. She stopped her hands and turned to face me. See you again. She's like, I guess, idiot. She looked troubled and embarrassed, then left without saying anything. She sure was cute. Where's she from? Her appearance was quite graceful, and as if she were the daughter of a rich family. A little lady with a duck? It was an odd combination, but they seemed strangely familiar with each other. Okay, I'd better go. Ah, yes, there you go. So obviously for the other routes, I imagine that, like, as far as if the guide is to be understood, then at some point there'll be options will come up, like, you know, go with one person or go with another person or something. At some point options will come up. So it's like, keep in mind that even if we've seen all this stuff now, to hit the other routes, I'm not gonna make us go through all of this intro again. You know what I mean? Because we're all gonna do it in one playthrough, but we can just skip to get to the other stuff. We're not gonna read all this again. You know what I mean? So keep in mind, up until the first choice, we can just skip through everything. So that'll save us quite a bit of time. You know, and this isn't our first rodeo through a visual novel either. So it's not like that's. It's not like that's anything new. I mean, we've done lots of other visual novels with choices and such things and different routes on my channel before, so that's, no big deal. Anyway, now I'm going to the dormitory called Flying Fish Manor. Why is it called that? Due to certain circumstances, that place will be my new home. While walking along the gently sloping street, I look up at the clouds moving above. Floating so freely like that, they reminded me of the glider. That distinctive silhouette had left a mysterious impression on me. Ah, yes. Glider. I am really enjoying apple juice. And it's a little thing, but I love that it's called Snapple Apple. Because I'm a sucker for a good rhyming scheme. Oh, I finally found it. This place, is this it? Flying Fish Manor. Well, I would say it's the right place. There's such a big difference between its appearance and its name. That's like giving a tough-looking Japanese Tosa a name like Lily. That reference is lost on me. At least call it something else. Maçon du Flying Fish or something. I have no idea how to pronounce that, by the way. Whew, that's why even when I looked everywhere, I still couldn't find it. Because I thought, it's not this place, I completely ruled it out, and then walked around this area. Well, you shouldn't judge a place based on its name, you should look at the address. I'm assuming there's addresses. I assume. Even now, I still can't believe it, so I'll check out the sign one more time. Flying Fish Manor, there's no doubt about it. Even so, I'm still not entirely convinced. I mean, I know a lot about this place. Whoop, that's my bad, sorry. I found out what the scroll wheel does, how about that? I mean, I know a lot about this place. Do you, though? It's an old European-style building on the shore of the lake, and because its appearance is a little spooky, when we were kids, we called the building the Witch's Mansion. I mean, you know, that makes sense. As a test of courage, we would often sneak into the yard. Does anybody own it, or is it like is it your mansion? We just thought it was a rich person's residence, but it's a dormitory. Kaifu Private Academy student dormitory. I just can't stand here in shock. Okay, I took a deep breath and stood up straight. It's very classy for a student dorm, that's for sure. May I come in? I don't know. May I? Oh, a visitor. He's just silent. Whoa! Suddenly, a girl in her underwear appeared before me, and the expression that I had tried so hard to straighten out crumbled instantly. May I ask your name? I wouldn't. It's cute, but it's not that bad. Like, I wouldn't have freaked out. I don't think. I know I wouldn't have, because I wouldn't want to make it awkward. You know, if she's not uncomfortable, I wouldn't want to pretend to be uncomfortable and make her uncomfortable. You know what I mean? I would have pretended all was totally fine unless she had said something first. You know what I mean? Because that's just decorum at work, obviously. Why? She's the one who should be worried about having been seen, but why am I the one feeling under pressure? We don't accept door-to-door sales. What's up, Kana? Or Kana-chan? I guess I should probably read the last part too, I guess, right? It looks like we have a visitor. Whoa. Sorry, I was just trying to set down my bottle that I finally finished, and I almost dropped it, and I was trying to catch it, and it's fine. A visitor? Huh? What? A guy? From inside, the other girl, this one was wearing clothes, showed her, the other one's wearing clothes too, okay? Let's not, like, pretend something's happening that's not happening. Anyway, showed her face, but when she saw me, she let out a hysteric scream. At the same time, the glasses she was wearing looked like they were about to slip off. Kana-chan, your clothes, your clothes! What is it? Oh, sorry, I keep forgetting it's voice acted. What is it? Another girl appeared. Okay, that is not what happened, alright? It's not what happened. Oh, Yuka, this unknown boy saw Kana-chan's naked body. That is not what happened. She's completely dressed. I don't know what this chick's problem is. What did you say? Huh? What? No, that's not it. Just like a god of salvation, my cell phone rang. The word mom was shown on the display. Excuse me a minute. I quickly pressed the button to answer the call while swiftly escaping outside. Mom! I thought you'd be at Flying Fish Manor and that things would have calmed down by now. What's it like? Well, this place is full of girls. And I saw one in her underwear. I mean, not really, though. Not really. I agree to disagree. Of course it is. That place. Yeah. I had checked the sign over and over, but then I noticed some small writing in the corner. It's not that small, alright? You didn't really look all that closely. Girls' dormitory. This is a girls' dormitory? Oh, didn't I tell you? Did you do this on purpose? What is this? What kind of mother are you? From now on, I'm going to this place's dorm. I'm going to be this place's dorm mother, aren't I?
大丈夫よ。オーナーさんも寮生の方たちも了解してくれてるから。
It's fine. The owner and the boarding students have all accepted it. Just now they were screaming at the top of their lungs.
あら、間違えて更衣室入っちゃった？
Oh, did you go into the changing room by mistake? No, he went in through the front door. That damn mother of mine, she's enjoying this situation. Creak. The front door opened slightly, and the girls from just now were peeking through.
どう？サナちゃん。
What's happening, Sana-chan?
まだいます。
He's still here. I was like, I can hear you. I was just right outside. When I called out to them like a surprised turtle, they pulled their faces back inside and shut the door. This is going great. What should I do? What should I do, I assume? What should I do about this? Well, I mean, probably go get arrested, I imagine. It's probably what'll happen. Well, this is the situation.
ほうほう。じゃああなたが新しい寮母さんなんだ。
Oh, so you're the new dorm mother. What? What even is that, though? You're like the caretaker? What does that even mean? While I was explaining the situation, the boarding students, apart from the girl in her underwear who was putting on some clothes, surrounded me but kept their distance and watched me. This is no good, is it? A boy being the dorm mother in a girl's dormitory. Yeah, I mean, I don't even know what a dorm mother is, and that sounds pretty sketchy to me.
いいんじゃないの？
That's alright, isn't it? From behind the underwear girl, she was wearing clothes now, but they were pretty gaudy. Alright, who's the clothes critic here, alright? Anyway, were some girls who looked like they were hiding, but they were nodding and agreeing.
誰か来てくれないともっと困るから。
If nobody comes here, that'll be a bigger problem.
そうなのよね。でももっと年配の人だとばかり思ってて。
Yeah, that's right, but I just thought it would be someone older. Yeah.
はい。
Incidentally, there is now one more person than before. She was kind of timid and looked to be the same age, or maybe a year younger than me. Just staring at him like, hey, focus. Huh? What is it?
葵くんって言ったっけ？
Did you say your
私
name?
はいくつ？
Sorry, she wasn't done yet. I have no way of knowing, obviously. Did you say your name was Aoi? How old are you? I'm still a student. From tomorrow, I'll be going to Kaifu Academy. Maybe it's K with an E. Maybe it's Keifu. Keifu Academy? I'm in the 2nd grade.
へえ。じゃあ年下なんだ。似合う。
So you're the grade below. He, she said. What do you mean, he? The person who came to speak to all of you is my mother, and, well, she kind of half-tricked me into accepting the job as a dorm mother. My mom has a job connected to real estate, and her company manages this property.
ですって。どうしますゆかさん？チェンジします？
Well then, what should we do, Yuka? Should we change?
そういう事情なら。
If that's the situation, the person who seemed the oldest said so, and the other people reluctantly nodded in agreement. This is just until the owner caretaker comes back or we find someone else. I apologize for the inconvenience, but for the time being, let's all try to get along. Once the conversation was over, naturally, everyone left and went back to their rooms.
いやー、なんかごめんね。みんなおぼこい娘さんたちのもんで、若い男を前にして舞い上がっちゃってんのよ。
Hey, I'm sorry. Everyone can be so childish, and they got carried away in front of a young guy like you.
私はしぐれかなこ。なんかあったら私に言ってちょうだい。
I'm Kaneko Shigure. If you need anything, please ask me.
管理人さんの部屋は1階の廊下の突き当たりよ。
The caretaker's room is at the end of the corridor on the 1st floor. Thank you very much. Well, was that all of the boarding students? There's the underwear girl and Kaneko, who is with me now. Yuka, the tall girl with the long hair, and Sana, the girl with the glasses. I think it's Sana. Anyway, the timid one who came from the back is Ryoko. That's 4 people altogether.
ああ、もう一人いるんだけど、いわゆる引きこもりというやつで。
Well, there is one more person, but she's what you might call the reclusive type.
そのうち出てくるんじゃないかな。
I wonder if she'll come out of her room at some point. Oh. In other words, there are 5 boarders in total. This building is pretty big, but there are only 5 people living here. Come to think of it, my mom did say that there are quite a few empty rooms. It's old and a little far from the school, so maybe it's not that popular.
汗かいちゃったからもう一回お風呂入ってこよっと。
I've worked up a sweat, so I'm gonna take another bath. Anyway, the conversation ended well, so I'll call my mother to let her know. I still don't understand what a dorm mother is. Maybe it's just like, maybe he takes care of the property? I don't know. So, in the end, we somehow work things out.
さあ、それはよかったわ。言っておくけど、寮の子に手出しちゃダメよ。
Really, that's good. I'll tell you this now though. Keep your hands off the girls. What are you talking about, Mom?
まあ、問題にならない程度ならいいけど。あ、それから。
Well, as long as it doesn't cause any problems, it's okay. Oh, and also.
前に言ったと思うけど、一人足の不自由な子がいるから。
I told you before, but one of them has a walking disability. He's like, wait a minute. Suddenly, the sound of flapping wings came from down the hallway. Then a shrill voice sounded out.
待ちなさい、ハ
Wait, Hat!
ット。
Huh? Something big and white came flying down the hallway, and from behind at breakneck speed was the girl in the wheelchair.
待て、このバカヒル、私のパンツ返しなさい。
Alright, we're back. Sorry. Wait, you stupid duck, give my panties back. Yeah, give them back. The big white thing, which somehow seemed like a duck, was flapping its wings and flew behind me. The girl in the wheelchair avoided all the obstacles in her path, in other words me, and chased down the duck like a drift racer. I was so overwhelmed by the speed that I couldn't say anything.
捕まえたわよ、ハット。
I got you, Hat. The girl in the wheelchair caught the duck at my feet and snatched away a small white cloth, possibly panties, from his beak, not back, whatever.
まったくあんたはいたずらばっかりして、今度やったら北京ダックにしてやるんだから。
Geez, you're always playing tricks. If you do it again, I'll turn you into a Peking duck? Peking duck? I think it's a cooking thing. I don't know. Obviously it means don't do it again or I'll cook you and eat you. You get the idea. The girl put the duck on her knee and lectured him. I remembered seeing that before. However, and it's somehow a lot different to the image she had during the day. In the daytime, she seemed more dainty and delicate. However, her appearance was the same. It's not often that you see such a pretty girl. Looks like your tire's in good condition?
Huh?
Her worlds are colliding now. She finally realized that there was a guy standing there.
もしもし、葵？聞いてるの？
Oh, right, he was still on the phone with his mom. I totally forgot about her. Hello, Aoi, are you listening? Yeah, what was it?
足が不自由な子がいるから面倒見てあげてねって話よ。
I was saying there's a disabled girl, so take good care of her. Sure, I got it. Okay, talk to you soon, Mom. I replied as I ended the call.
どうしてあなたがここに。
Why are you... She got as far as saying that, but then she realized that she has the small cloth in her hand and tries to hide it by stuffing it under her backside.
なんでここにいるの？
Why are you here?
新しい寮母さんだよ、小鳥ちゃん。
He's a new dorm mother, Kotori-chan. Kaneko, who was supposed to be having a bath, poked her head out.
はい？何よそれ、聞いてないんですけど。
Really? What do you mean? I hadn't heard that.
ようにも小鳥ちゃん、めったに部屋から出てこないんだもん。
Even if I tried to tell you, Kotori-chan, you hardly ever come out of your room.
新しい寮母って男の子じゃない。
You mean the new dorm mother is a boy? I still don't know what that is. Hey, look! Hey, look! Is what I felt like she was saying as she relentlessly pointed at me.
そのやりとりはうちらはるか昔に通過したから。
We already had this conversation a long time ago. The girl known as Kotori glared at Kaneko like she was interfering. I'm the new dorm mother, Aoi Minase? Minase? So, something like that, I don't know.
ハバネ小鳥です。
I'm Kotori Habane. Kotori seemed to meet my introduction with reluctance.
この子はハト。ってもう知ってるわよね。
This is Hat, but you know that already. Hat turned to face me and flapped his wings. He's a clever duck.
本当にあなたが新しい寮母さんなの？
Are you really the new dorm mother? Yeah, that's right. So you are against it? If she says she doesn't like the fact that the dorm mother of a girl's dormitory is a guy, or the fact that we're the same age, there's nothing I can do about it. Kotori closes her eyes and quietly takes a deep breath as if trying to focus her mind. Kotori?
昼間のことは忘れて。
Forget about what happened during the day. During the day? Which part?
なるべく全部だけど。そうね。強いて言うなら。
As much as possible. That's right, that's right. If I had to say... She stopped talking and stared at Kaneko, who was standing behind listening. Kaneko looked as if she was saying, okay, okay, as she disappeared down the hallway.
私が
I
この私がついうっかりポロッと泣いちゃったりしたことよ。
I made a careless mistake and then I started crying. Oh. That incident was quite startling, and I remember it well. I mean, it only happened earlier today. That's not that hard to remember. To see a girl's tears from so close like that is something I don't experience very often. I don't know what she thinks about, but those tears were very beautiful.
忘れた？
Have you forgotten it? Huh? No, not yet.
忘れろ。今すぐ。
Well, forget about it right now. Don't be so silly. When you say it like that, it just makes it even more strongly engraved in my memory.
あのね、新入りのあなたは知らないだろうけど、私これでも。
Look, you're new here, so you don't know. Even like this, Kotori straightened her back, composed her expression, and smiled. And swish, with a natural gesture, she lifted her hair up.
クールビューティーで通ってるの。
Don't you feel my cool... something? So I don't even know what that is. My cool something or other. What's a lul? Oh, there we go. See, even he doesn't know what it is.
ビューティーよ。ちょっと言い間違えただけ。
Okay. A lure. I just said it a bit wrong, that's all. It's a lure, right. Oh, I've heard that word before.
もう一回言うから、もう一回やらせて。
I'll say it again. Let me do it again. She said that and then straightened her back and made a composed smile again. Okay, that's enough. I get it, alright?
もう意地悪。揚げ足取り。人でらしい。
Jeez, you're such a jerk, nitpicker, lowlife. Yikes. It's just like, she just looked so composed earlier on, and now she's just like, you know, she's like way more excitable. Kotori used just about every insult there is, alright, not even close, then turned her wheelchair around. She didn't even swear, first of all. Then she hurriedly raced down the hallway and back into her room. Along the way, Hat, who had been thrown off, chased after her and entered the room through a small door, maybe a special door for ducks, built into the bottom of the main door. He has like a doggy door, but for the duck. That's funny. I looked on in disbelief. I don't need to say this, but the dainty and delicate image that she had in the daytime had completely crumbled away. I know. A delicate bud was beginning to sprout, and we shared a fleeting love. But, I mean, I wouldn't say that. You barely interacted. Cool allure, right? It's a lure, bro. When I remember lifting her hair and being so full of confidence, I was assuming it's when I remember her lifting her hair, not me lifting her hair, because that's pretty weird. When I remember her lifting her hair and being so full of confidence, I feel like I could burst out laughing. She's so funny. From the beginning, everything's been so messed up. From tomorrow, it looks like things will start getting interesting. I really felt that prediction would come true. Well, you know, it's a very, it's certainly something. It's a lot to digest, to say the least. What the heck is a dorm mother? Extend the little wings which fly in the sky highly. I don't remember what the first one was, or if it's different. I really don't know. Maybe by the end of it, they'll tell a whole story or something. Or it's the same sentence. I don't know. My first job as dorm mother. That is to make breakfast for the boarders. So you are kind of just basically like the mother of the building, basically. You just like do all the, you just like, make the food and all that jazz. I'm assuming you get something out of it. Do you like what? Like free room and board and a little bit of money or something? Or how do you get roped into this? Well, if it's a job, I'm assuming you get paid. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know. That's some good eating.
葵くん料理上手だね。おかわり。
Aoi, you're good at cooking. Can I have some more rice? Sure, a big bowl, right?
わかってるね。
You know it. I'm pretty confident in my cooking. Until recently, I was living with my father, who was ordered to transfer to the country, and every day I helped with the housework. I was in charge of preparing the meals, and it's not like I hated cooking or anything. That's one of the reasons why I accepted the job as dorm mother. I would change the name if it was me, personally. I'd be like, I am not being called dorm mother, alright? Like, come up with another name. Like, I'm obviously a dude, so it's like, I would not want to roll with the title of dorm mother attached to me. Anyway, so the others don't need breakfast, huh? Since just now, no one has come into the dining hall. Sometimes there would be someone walking through the hallway in front, but they seem to be sneaking around. Kaneko looks towards the hallway just as the oldest boarder, Yuka, was peeking in before swiftly dashing off. They're probably scared of you, bro.
もうみんなオブだからね。男の子に免疫がないのよ。
There you go, see? Kaneko gets it. Geez, they're all so naive. They still haven't gotten used to boys. But, I'm assuming it's Keifu, because K-E-I, I would say was K. So, anyway, Keifu is a co-ed school, right?
いくら学校で同じでも寝起きの緩み切ったすっぴんが見られちゃうわけじゃないからね。
Even if you go to the same school, you won't see them with their bedheads and faces without makeup. I see. Sorry, I'm choking to death. I see. It seems like a guy being a dorm mother of a girl's dormitory will have its problems after all. How did that not occur to you? Like, clearly, there seems pretty... What's the word I'm looking for? Like, seems pretty sketchy to me. Seems pretty sketchy, alright? Incredibly sketchy, liable for a lawsuit, I would say. There is a reason why I accepted the job as dorm mother at Flying Fish Manor. Also, what's up with the name? Still weird. Not long ago, the owner janitor collapsed. Yikes. It sounds like she's pretty old, and as well as straining her back, she caught a summer cold, which became aggravated. The owner soon began looking for a replacement, but it was hard to find one. Then she sought help from the real estate company where my mother works. This is one of the properties that my mom manages, and is an old acquaintance of the owner from decades ago. She nominated me for this job just as I was planning to come back here. On the documents, my mom is the one responsible for this place, but she got me to carry out the practical duties, in other words, the work of a dorm mother. Then that becomes a condition for me coming back to this town. As always, she's very crafty, but I wasn't really against the idea, so I accepted. If I had known it was a girls' dormitory, of course, I would have refused. This place is old, a little far from the school, and the rent is cheap, probably because of its distance to the school. Apart from the food and admin expenses, it costs next to nothing. That's why it would be a big problem for me if I couldn't stay here, and if in the worst case scenario, the boarders won't be able to go to school. So for now, it seems that everyone has accepted a guy as the dorm mother. Again, still would want to change the name.
ごちそうさん。美味しかった。
Thanks for the meal. Whew, that was good. Kaneko stacked up the dishes on the counter and licked her lips in satisfaction.
ま、みんなそのうち慣れるって。じゃ、行ってきます。
Everyone will get used to you soon. Well then, I'm off now. I'm off now. Not like I'm off now. I'm off right now. Not how that was said, I imagine. She had eaten it all, and not even a single grain of rice was left. To have people enjoy my cooking feels pretty good. I feel deeply relieved. I'm happy that things are going well. I mean, so far, don't hold your breath. Oh geez, I better get ready for school. In the entrance of the dormitory, there was Katori. She was dressed in her uniform and looked like she was about to go to school. Does she have like a lift or something, or is she... I'm assuming she's on the first floor, right? I assume. Anyway. Morning, Katori.
おはよう。
Morning. You going to school? Shall we go together?
え？なんでそうなるの？
Why do you want to do that? Why? Well...
私の足のことを心配してるなら余計なお世話よ。ふんと。
If you're worried about my legs, then there's no need. I don't think that was why. I feel like he just wanted to go to school with somebody. Anyway, she put it bluntly as she quickly went out the front door. I don't have any friends at school, so I don't have any friends at school, so I was just asking. I looked like we'd had a strange misunderstanding. Yeah, he's like, I wasn't concerned that you wouldn't make it. He's like, obviously you go to school a lot. I was just thinking that, like, I don't know anybody here. Anyway, wearing my new uniform, I make my way to school. I'm a dorm mother, but also a student at Keifu Academy. I mean, this is a real occupation. This is my real occupation. Today is the first day at my new school. We're not really the shy type, but I guess I am kind of nervous. I would say that the school I am going to before was a sports-focused all-boys school. That's very different. Keifu Academy, the school I'll be going to now, is an engineering school and a co-ed, and the school traditions are quite different too. As I walk the streets that lead to school, there are more and more groups of people wearing the same uniform. This is the same area in which I lived in 5 years ago. There should be a few people that I know, but most of the people who I recognize went on to regular schools. I wonder if the ones who chose to go to Keifu Academy remember me. Even if I was the only one person, even if I only know one person, it would make a big difference. There'll be more weird misunderstandings with Miss Alul too. It's still a lure, bro. It's still a lure. Oh yeah, which school do Ageha, I'm assuming, and the others go to? Who knows? That name though I recognize that name. She's one of the routes possible, but I think she's actually locked. I think if the tiny little guide that I was glancing at that I have ready to go is anything to be believed, then I think 3 of the 5 routes are open, like they're ready to go, but then after you do those, or at some point 2 more unlock, but like 3 out of 5 are available initially, from what I understand. But anyway, they're my childhood friends who I always played with when I was a kid. There's Ageha, Mabo, Hotaru, and Anchan. Well, at least it rhymes. Out of that group, Ageha and Mabao are the same age as me, but we haven't met in 5 years and haven't really stayed in touch. Oh, that sucks. We just about managed to exchange New Year cards, but that reminds me, in the corner of last year's New Year's card, I think there was a small message about which school we were planning to go to. What did it say? A lot of things happened, or maybe I'm just lazy, but I haven't told anyone apart from Anchan that I'm coming back. To be honest, I'm not even sure how I should be if I meet them. Or met them, sorry. Anyway, just be you, bro. With the ones like Ageha, she's probably smashed my face in. She'd say, "Why didn't you contact me?" or something. She looked and acted like a real tomboy. When I remember the past, it makes me smile, but...
Oh.
Hey. Well, hello. No. There it is. Well, hello. Anyway, it's a little too early. At the point where Toe Street, leading to the school meet, there was a girl wearing a Keifu uniform standing there looking towards me. The other girls that she was walking to school with asked what's up and seemed puzzled as they spoke to her. However, it seems like that girl can't hear them and she's staring over here at me. Just faintly, her eyes seem full of surprise. She's pretty cute. Without realizing, I'd stopped walking and was staring at the girl. Until a few days ago, I was going to an all-boys school. The sight of a girl on the way to school in her uniform, she was pretty cute too, causing me to get palpitations is perfectly reasonable. I would say so. He's an emerging dude.
Aoi?
Is that you, Aoi? Yes, it is. Suddenly having someone call my name in such a carefree manner made me feel a little nervous. Is that one of your old friends who you don't recognize? Who is it? It is you! No way, it really is you. I'm avoiding saying his name if you can't tell. There, she said my name again, and she has such a happy expression on her face. Do I know any girls this cute? No, wait, I've seen this face before. When she smiles like that, her eyes sparkle like a little kid's. Is that you, Ageha? Yes. Oh, sorry, she wasn't done yet. Yeah, of course it's me, Ageha. Did you forget my face? She asked as she briskly moved closer, bringing her face right up to mine. It's definitely Ageha. She changed a lot, but if I look at her face, there's no doubt that it's her. Is it really that Ageha? Yeah, very funny. How many Agehas do you know? 100% authentic, the real Ageha Himegi. What is it? What is it? Said the other girls as they gathered around in a circle. Ageha turned to face him and introduced me.
この子、水瀬葵くん。転校生よ。サッチンは覚えてるよね。
I actually nailed that, and I'm not speaking too early, you know? Anyway, this is Aoi Manase. He's a transfer student. You remember him, don't you, Sachin? Sachin, actually? Sachin replied, "No way, Aoi. No way, Aoi?" Or however you pronounce his name, as she warmly raised her voice in surprise. She's like, I have no idea who this guy is. When we were in the 4th grade of elementary school, we were in the same class once. Or maybe she was in
私
disbelief.
と葵は幼馴染なの。昔ここに住んでたんだけど、転校してっちゃったのよね。
Yeah, actually, that might have been like, no way, it's you. Like, instead of no way, no idea, you know? It's probably how she meant that. Anyway, Aoi and I are childhood friends. He used to live here, but he got transferred to another school, right? The girls seemed impressed by Agaha's explanation, and they looked at me with eyes full of expectation. She's one of the girls we can romance, by the way. But I think her route is locked until, I think she's one of the 2 that were locked, but I didn't really read the guide all that closely, so I don't really remember totally, but something like that. Nice to meet you. I'm Aoi Manase. In front of all these girls in their uniforms, I greeted them with a stern look on my face as I tried to hide my embarrassment. Agaha laughed as she looked on with relish. I never thought I would find myself doing introductions in the street on the way to school like this, so I was totally unprepared. You should have been prepared, bro. Gotta prepare for every eventuality, you never know. I'll say it again, let me do it again. I could hear Miss Alul's words in the back of my mind. I guess that's just gonna be his nickname for her, I guess, now.
背伸びたわね。最初誰かわかんなかったわ。
We've gotten taller, I didn't recognize you at first. As she spoke, Agaha was moving her hands around my head to show the difference in height between myself and her. Our bodies were making contact, but she either didn't notice or didn't really mind. I flinched slightly, but the fact that she was so unreserved actually made me feel more comfortable.
昔は私といい勝負だったのに。男の子はずるいな。
Back in the day, we used to have such good matches. Boys are so unfair. Speaking of which, you've changed too.
そう？
Really? As she said, you think so, she looked at herself. Yeah, you always looked like a boy, so I was surprised to see that you became a girl. Ouch. Those were my honest thoughts, but I said them in a way that sounded weird. I thought she might find it slightly charming, but...
ぬふふん。どうだ。いい女になっただろ。
Alright, well, at least she, like, played that off real well. Like, cause, like, yeah, I thought that would be kind of insulting. Anyway. Haha, so I've become quite the woman, haven't I? I've become quite the woman, haven't I? Agaha laughed happily and did a little turn on the spot. The force of her spin made her skirt float around gently. Yeah, it's like you're not really Agaha. While dazed and not really thinking, those thoughts just kind of slipped out. Well done, idiot.
イエーイやったね。
Wow, she still played that off. Anyway, she's like, yay, alright, you get it. Agaha was pleased and did high fives with her friends. Seeing her in high spirits like that was just like old times. Agaha, my best friend during my childhood, hadn't changed in the 5 years that had passed, even though she actually has changed because you just said that you didn't recognize her. Anyway, whatever. Her appearance was surprising, though. I mean, he probably means, like, personality-wise, she's not any different. He still knows her as a friend, you know? I digress, though. Well, at least you know somebody. That's a good thing. Going to a new school where you don't know anybody would be, like, is unpleasant. The lessons on my first day at my new school flew by in the blink of an eye. Between the language and social studies lessons taught in regular schools were those from a specialist curriculum. I was still in the 2nd grade, so second grade of high school, not like 2nd grade period. Anyway, so there aren't that many, but it looks like when you go into the 3rd and 4th grades, the number of these specialist lessons increases. By the way, this is a 5-year school. That's why when walking the hallways, this kind of thing happens. Hey, she's pretty. Coming from an all-boys school with its sad customs, I couldn't help but my eyes from following the girls as I walked past them. That makes sense. I can understand that.
ほほ。早速女子のチェックですか？
Ho-ho, so you're already checking out the girls. No, that's not it. I thought they looked really grown up, that's all. That's all.
4年か5年の先輩じゃないかな。
They're seniors from the 4th and 5th grades, aren't they? At our age, a gap of 3 or 4 years is pretty big. The students in the upper grades look very mature.
それにね、うちってこの手の専門学校にしては女子の比率が多いんだよ。
Also, although this is a specialist school, the percentage of girls is pretty high. Huh? Why's that? Without thinking, I really took an interest in that, and Agaha looked at me as if she wanted to call me a pervert.
校舎の建て替えと同時期に女子生徒の受け入れを強化したんだって。
At the time that the school was rebuilt, they made an effort to accept more girls. I'd heard about that before I transferred. They increased the number of courses for girls and asked famous designers to make the designs for the new building. It has been said, thanks to that, the ratio of girls and boys is about 50-50, which is one of the selling points of the school. Bearing that in mind, I felt uneasy about choosing this school as the one I would transfer to, but I'd like people to think that it can't be helped because I'm from an all-boys school. By the way, it's now lunchtime. Agaha is in the middle of giving me a guided tour of the school building. Yeah, but this really is an amazing school. The school itself is pretty old. Due to it being a special kind of school, of course, it's famous in the local area. I've known about it too since I was a little kid. The school building has been rebuilt over the last few years, with the renovations divided into several stages, and the last of which was completed just 1 year ago. It's said that that is because of the famous designers. The design uses many curved lines, so the appearance is far removed from that, from what is generally associated with the word school. You know, I was thinking that when we first saw it, it looks like a space station airport. Anyway, it felt like I had entered some kind of sci-fi setting. What did I just say? See, he gets it. I told you it was like a space station airport.
設備も最高だよ。冷暖房完備、完全バリアフリーで、どんな人も安心して学校生活が送れます。
Sorry, the facilities are first class too. Air conditioning, full disabled access, so anyone can feel peace of mind as they spend their school days here. Disabled access? That's right, Miss Alul, I mean Kotori, should be somewhere in this school.
でもさ、葵、ほんと変わったよね。
But Aoi, you really have changed. Agaha, as she walked by my side, was happily murmuring as I'm assuming as she looked at my face, I assume.
顔とか昔はもっと可愛らしかったのに、なんかゴツゴツしちゃってさ。
In the past, your face was cuter, but now it seems more rugged somehow. Yeah, same to you.
ひどっ、私ゴツゴツなんてしてないもん。
Hey, I don't look rugged. Yeah, that's not a compliment you give to a girl. Don't you know better, bro? Come on. If she knew that when we met on the way to school earlier, I thought she's pretty cute. She'd never let it go, so I'd better keep quiet.
あんちゃんから聞いてなかったら気づかなかったわよ。
If I hadn't heard it from Anshan, I never would have realized. You heard it from Anshan?
そう、葵が帰ってくるってね。
Yeah, that you were coming back. By the way, I'm in the same class as Agaha. She knew that I might be coming as a transfer student, which is why she wasn't that surprised by our chance meeting this morning.
あんたね、帰ってくるなら連絡くらいよこしなさいよね。
He absolutely should have kept contact while he was gone, too, but he kind of messed that up. Hey, you. If you're gonna come back, you should have contacted me. Sorry. The reason why we call him Anshan isn't because he's like an older brother type of guy. Aniki equals an older guy, like a big brother. He was our childhood friend, but he was much older than us, so we nicknamed him Anshan. He's not related by blood, but he's just like a real big brother. Agaha glared at me and said, "Geez," as I tried to laugh it off.
昔の私ならアックスボンバーかましてるところよ。
The old me would have made you taste the axe bomber lariat. That's quite the name. She wouldn't really have hit me. As we talked, we went back to the classroom. Wow, you literally hear like the sliding whooshing sci-fi door? I heard that. Anyway, the classroom wasn't exactly normal either. Yeah, I'd say not. I felt a little uneasy taking lessons here, but maybe I'll get used to it sometime soon. By the way, there's a girl in a wheelchair in this school, right? Miss Alul, or no, I mean, she's called Kotori Habane? I asked Agaha as we returned to our seats. I didn't ask what grade she was in, but even if it's not the same, I thought Agaha would at least be aware of her. Yeah. Agaha reacted like she was being evasive. It wasn't just Agaha, but the other people sitting nearby who heard our conversation also seemed kind of awkward.
ハバネさんならうちのクラスだよ。今日は来てないみたいだけど。
If you're after Kotori, she's in this class. It looks like she's not here today, though. After Agaha said that, someone added, you mean today either, don't you? The way she said that seemed quite harsh. That can't be. I mean, I thought about explaining that she had left the dormitory this morning in her uniform, but I held my tongue. The atmosphere was kind of strange.
ここんとこずっと休んでるんだ。体調が良くないみたいでさ。
Recently, she's been off school for a long time. It seems like she's not feeling well. Not feeling well? He's thinking, oh, what a load. Yesterday, she went out to Windmill Hill, and then later she was chasing that duck around the halls of the dorm. And this morning, she left wearing her uniform. Is she skipping school? Oh, God forbid. Skipping school. Man, she's going straight to hell. No, I'm kidding. I obviously I don't care. Anyway, however, more worrying than what Kotori is up to is the reaction of the others in the class when they heard us talking about her. Yeah, that's kind of weird, though. Even Agaha looked like she had something she wanted to say but couldn't. But I don't really know what the situation is, so I can't really say anything.
Oi, Yamamoto! 英語の辞書を貸してくんね?
Hey, Yamamoto, can you hand me your English dictionary? As the awkwardness started to fade, an optimistic voice called up. From the entrance of the classroom, a carefree-looking guy poked his head and started speaking to a boy in our class.
お、ちょうどいいところに。
Oh, good timing.
おーい、マーボー。
Oh, it is Mabo. Okay. Anyway, I mean, you heard it here, folks. It's Mabo. Hey, Mabo. Man, how did he get that name anyway? I want to hear the story.
だよ、アゲハ。なんか用か?
What is it, Agaha? You want something? The guy known as Mabo came into the classroom.
お前と仲良くしてっと、エリちゃんのご機嫌が悪くなんだよ。
Eri-chan's in a bad mood because you and I are friends.
あれってやっぱ、ジェラシーってやつだよな。
That's what you might call jealousy, right?
いいからこっち来い。
Whatever, come over here.
お、誰これ？転校生？アゲハは見た目結構可愛いけど、中身男だから気をつけろ。
Huh? Who's this? A transfer student? Agaha looks pretty cute, but she's like a dude on the inside, so watch out. I'd be very careful how you phrase that, my guy. Agaha and I both looked blankly at him for a moment.
なんだよ。
What? Long time no see, Mabo.
は？
Huh? Why is that transfer student being so buddy-buddy with me? His face seemed to say. It's me. Have you forgotten me?
俺だよって。
It's me, you say?
え？お前、葵？
Huh? What? Is that you, Aoi? I looked at Agaha and she...
にや。
Little laugh. She wanted to surprise him, so it seems like she intentionally didn't tell him. This slightly superficial guy is... Oh wow, that name though. I see why they gave him a nickname. Masatsugu? I imagine you don't pronounce every character in that, like the T is probably different. Tasaki. I think that's Tasaki. Yeah, so I can pronounce his last name, or Mabo as we call him. I like Mabo a whole lot. A great name, 10 out of 10. Definitely a great name. Let's just always call him that. He's our childhood friend.
なんで葵がここにいるんだよ。てか、転校生って？え？
You know, I can pronounce it if I heard it spelled. If I heard it said out loud. If someone said his full name out loud, like if I heard it a few times, I could absolutely copy it. But just like reading it and then having no like reference on what it sounds like, I can't really pronounce it. But if I heard it said aloud, I could replicate it. And so it's like, but until that point, not really. Anyway, why is Aoi here? So is he a transfer student? What?
あんた驚きすぎ。
You're way too surprised.
そりゃ驚くって。
Of course I'm surprised. What? You seem well, Mabo. You've grown pretty big. He used to be really small, but now he was about the same size as me. It's not quite like the change in Agaha, but in the 5 years that have passed since we were kids, it looks like he's grown to about twice the size.
お前こそ。
You too. We grabbed each other by the right hand. Oh, and like a bro salute? Yeah. This was instead of a small, quiet greeting.
本当に葵なのかよ。
Is it really you, Aoi? Yep, I'm back, Mambo.
おかえり。葵。
Welcome back. Aoi. I'm not gonna give the same level of enthusiasm, alright? You're gonna have to accept that. This time, bam, he gave me a full-on hug. Hey, hey!
熱い友情ってやつだね
Okay, so this is what they call passionate friendship, huh? We were the only ones who thought so, whereas all of the girls around us were totally freaked out.
会いたかったよ。あ、
I missed you, Aoi. What?
じゃねえよこの裏切り者。
No, not really, you traitor! Mambo suddenly backed off and thrust his finger at the end of my nose. What is this all of a sudden?
いきなり出て行ったと思ったらろくに連絡もよこさねえで。
I thought you'd up and left and you didn't even contact me.
俺やアゲハがどんな思いでいたかてめえ知ってるのか。
Do you even know what Ageha and I have been through, you jerk?
いやいや勝手に私を巻き添えにするな
No, 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 you can't involve me like this. You can't involve me in this.
そのくせよくものこのこと。
And after that, how dare you? Sorry, but it's not my fault that I had to move away. If you want to complain, say it to my dad. I thought about writing a letter, but I kind of felt embarrassed. For the most part, the fact that there was no contact was both of our faults.
この裏切り者め、俺は絶対許さないかんな。
You traitor, I'll never forgive you.
お前なんか嫌いだ。バカバカ。
You're an idiot, or I hate you, you're an idiot. With saliva flying out of his mouth as he emphasized his words, Mambo forgot all about borrowing the English dictionary and he stormed out of the classroom.
子供かい
Are you a little kid or something? It wasn't just us, but everyone in the classroom was shocked.
こうなると思って教えてなかったんだけどね
I thought this might happen, that's why I didn't tell him.
知ってたらあいつ最初から全開であんな感じだっただろうから
If he'd known, he would have been going off at full throttle like that from the beginning. I think that was the correct decision. I want to say thank you. Even so, he did seem really upset about it.
あいつ最近彼女ができて調子づいてんのよ
He recently got a girlfriend and he's really into her.
小さい頃は「あおいアゲハ待ってよ」とか言って私らの後にくっついてきてたのにね
When we were kids, he'd always say, Aoi, Agaha, wait, as he followed us everywhere we went.
大丈夫すぐ元通りになるってだってあいつ葵大好きっ子だもん
It's fine, he'll go back to how he always is. The guy really likes you, Aoi. Don't say it like that, it sounds weird.
そう可愛いじゃない
Really? I think it's cute. While we carried on talking, the bell to mark the end of lunchtime sounded. Everyone put away their lunchboxes and got ready for the next lesson. Agaha went back to her seat. She stopped halfway, then walked back. What's up? Agaha seemed concerned about those around us and lowered her voice.
なんでハバネさんのこと知ってるのかなって
I was wondering how you know about Kotori? Well, the truth is, my mom asked me to be the dorm mother of a student dormitory. I lowered my voice so that those around us couldn't hear.
寮の管理人
The caretaker of a dormitory? Yeah, why can't you phrase it like that? That's so much better. Kotori is boarding there.
そうなんだ
Oh, really? My mom asked me to take good care of Kotori. Even if she hadn't, I'd be worried about her anyway. As she listened to my explanation, Agaha thought it over. Her expression darkened somehow.
このまま来なくなるんじゃないかってみんな心配してる
If it carries on like this, she'll stop coming altogether. Everyone's worried about her.
あんまり学校が楽しくないみたいなんだ
It looks like she's not really enjoying school. It looks as if she was saying, I can't believe she doesn't enjoy school. You seem to enjoy it.
私もちろんだよだって楽しいじゃない学校
Me? Of course I do. It's a fun school, that's why. I guess. It was still my first day at a new school, but I was enjoying it quite a lot too.
そっかそうなんだ
Really, is that so? Whether or not she was convinced by my story, Agaha mumbled something or other as she returned to her seat. The concept of school being enjoyable to me is so foreign. I can't even imagine the idea of school being fun. Like, what country would I have to move to make school not total hell? You know, riddle me that. Or hell, what even part of the country I'm in? What part of the US would I have to move to have school be an enjoyable experience? Literally can't imagine it. Can't imagine it because the school I went to was just the worst. Anyway, after school, I was alone and was wandering around the school building. This was so that I could take a look at some of the club activities. Film studies, theater club, there's even an RC club. This is, after all, a specialist school, so lots of tech flying around, I imagine. Looking at the playing field from the window, in the heat outside, I saw these sports clubs practicing. Compared to my school, it's pretty calm. The sports clubs at the school I used to go to were taken so seriously. The sights of training before a match was one of grueling harshness. Wait, what do I mean, my school? I'm a student of this school now. I'll go take a look. I mean, if he came from a sports school, maybe he should join a sports school, you know? I went down next to the playing, or a club, I mean, sorry. I went down next to the playing field to watch these sports clubs practicing. Before long, I started to feel a little down, so I left. The doctor said that if it's light exercise, it shouldn't be a problem. Oh, is that why he moved? Did he get injured, like really badly or something? Interesting. I was stamping down strongly with my right foot, and there isn't really any discomfort. There, the baseball club, which was returning through from the off-campus running course, entered through the school gates.
Ah, Minase! Omae, Minase daro?
Hey, Minase, it's you, Minase, isn't it? The one calling me was an old acquaintance. It's you, Taguchi. It's been a long time.
お前帰ってきたんだってな。もう部活は決めたのか?
So you came back. You decided which club you want to join? No, not yet. I am going around taking a look now.
野球部入れよ。お前ならすぐレギュラーなれるぞ。
Join the baseball club. You'd become a regular in no time. When I was a kid, I often played baseball in the park. Some of the guys in the group that were my old teammates or on the other team were in the baseball team. I'll think about it. I casually responded, and the baseball team members replied, "Come on, join us, seriously," as they returned to the playing field. If I could do physical activities, baseball, in fact anything, would be okay. As I grumbled to myself, I felt that I didn't want to go back to the playing field, so I entered the path leading back to the school. So that's it. So he was like injured or something, which is why he moved schools to something that's not sports focused. That makes sense. I wonder what happened to him. Maybe we'll find out after all. I spent a while walking around the back of the school. It was called the rear garden, but it looked like it hadn't been taken care of at all, and was just an empty space with weeds growing everywhere. In that empty space, there was a garage. I almost said garbage. There was a garage. There might be garbage too, but there's at least a garage. That much we know. Hello, I'm coming in. It looks like no one's here, but I thought I should say something to let them know just in case. Is this place used for club activities too? Or is it used for lessons? I don't know what they're used for. I don't know what they're used for these many tools and parts crammed into the shelves that cover the walls. Then in the center is a huge object covered with a sheet. I bet you a large sum of money that's that glider from earlier, which it's like a super cheap bet. That's obviously a nose. There's an odd number of wheels. That's obviously the tail. It's obviously the glider from earlier. The feelings that had washed over me like a wave when I watched these sports clubs strangely subside from being here. The tools in the dimly lit garage must have reminded me of the times when I would tinker with my bicycle. What is this used for? I conceal the sound of my footsteps as I sneak inside the garage. I wonder if he can't... Maybe he got injured while doing something with bike riding. You know what I mean? Like maybe that part of the beginning was like right before a crash or something. And then maybe he was big into cycling, and maybe he doesn't do that now, or maybe he was doing that, like, but that's his light exercise. I imagine that that's probably what he used to do was bike riding, and then maybe he got injured during that, so that now he doesn't do that anymore, which is interesting. But I wonder if we'll get the full story. We'll see. I conceal the sound of my footsteps as I sneak inside the garage. It's pretty spacious. There's a tea set here too. There was no doubt about it. Someone was using this place. I got a strange sense of activity. I guess it must be one of the clubs. Whoa! There's someone here. I was so surprised I felt like my heart was gonna jump out. Well, she's pretty. The person over there seemed not to have noticed me at all. I'm not sure if you could call it a drawing board, but as she stared at the plans that were placed there, she was kind of groaning. I'm sorry for letting myself in here. I'll be going now. She's like so in the zone, she doesn't even know he's there. It's no good, she didn't hear me. Her eyes were so serious as she stared at the plans, and she looked like she was really concentrating. I didn't know what to do, so I just looked at her from the side. Now that I look closely, she's really beautiful. That's what I just said that. Hey, why am I staring at her? Yeah, you should like bail or make your presence a little more obvious. I hurriedly look away. However, it looks as if she hasn't noticed me, so I'll take another glimpse. She looks quite mature. Is she in the 5th grade? She's so pretty. Katori is pretty too, but this person is different and has a mysterious charm. And she suddenly just up. She's just up. She suddenly stood up. I'm sorry. Without thinking, I avert my eyes and apologize, but she's looking straight. I think she's still in the zone, bro. She's ignoring you. Past me and grabs a big, thick book from the shelf.
やっぱりそうか。
Yes, that's it, mysterious beauty. She flickered through the pages and looked like she had found something before going straight back to her seat. I feel like you're intruding here, brother. She's like, yes, nailed it. Also, my back is on fire from leaning forward like an animal. In good spirit, she began swiftly drawing the plans. I am farther back from my mic now, if you can't tell. So I guess we'll find out if this makes a big difference. But I had to lean back. My very intense pain the center of my shoulder blades. So that's my bad for leaning forward like an animal. Anyway, the pen made a nice swoosh swoosh sound as it ran across the page. The feeling of maturity that she had until just now suddenly changed. When she smiles, all of a sudden she looks more like a kid. As her eyes looked straight at the plans, they looked as though had a crystal clear purity to them. Just like an innocent child, her eyes looked as though she believed that the world's full of wonderful, sparkling things.
これでよしっと。
There we go. Her hand stopped moving. I got the timing right. Excuse me. She finally noticed me.
いや、こんにちは。
Oh, hello. Even though I had unexpectedly appeared like that, she didn't show any signs of caution and still in good spirits smiled as she greeted me. Hi. I thought that I should say something to her, but I didn't think of what to say after that.
どうかしたのかい？
What's up? I'm sorry, I just let myself in here. I just transferred here today, but I was taking a look at the club activities and I got lost and came in here. I got a little carried away and said more than I needed to, but she didn't seem interested at all. She looked at me as if to say yes and.
勝手に入ってくれて構わないぞ。
I don't mind if you let yourself in here. It looked like a kind of blunt way to say it, but she wasn't angry or anything. She has a strange way of speaking. Well, I'm sorry, I'd better go. As I said that like a total loser, a huge sound echoed through the garage. What's that noise?
ああ、お腹すいた。
Oh, I'm hungry. With a lack of energy in her voice, the beautiful girl before me held her stomach and fell down onto the drawing board. What was that? Was that sound your stomach just now? We're inside the garage, so the sound echoed like crazy and sounded like the growl of a monster.
空腹だったことを体が思い出してしまったらしいぞ。
Looks like my body just remembered that my stomach is empty. She seemed to sway as she tried to get up, but she didn't have enough energy, so she slumped back down with her cheek on the drawing board. Would you like to eat this? I took some bread out of my bag. I thought I'd get hungry with just a lunchbox, so at lunchtime I bought some melon bread. Wow! Her eyes shone as if she were an explorer who had discovered treasure in a cave in some unexplored place.
いいのか？
Are you sure? Go ahead.
ありがとう。
Thank you. She took the melon bread, opened the wrapper immediately, and bit into the contents. She was getting crumbs everywhere, but really looks like she was enjoying it as she devoured it greedily.
おいしい。おいしい。久しぶりのカロリー摂取だ。
It's so tasty. I haven't had any calorie intake for ages. Could that be because she's poor? The fact that she was so ecstatic over something like melon bread actually made me quite worried. She didn't show any signs that she was thinking of my generosity and just ate up the high-calorie melon bread.
おいしかった。
Whew, that was delicious. She murmured happily, looking happy as can be. She looked like she was mulling over the taste of the melon bread in her brain.
脳に糖分が染み渡る。
That's a really weird thing to say. The sugar is going to my brain. She said as she turned back to the drawing board. Then she started drawing the plans again with incredible energy. From the serious look on her face, it seemed that she had already forgotten about me. She's strange. She is kind of strange. Not just a little, but very strange. Okay, well, I'll be off now. Just silence. Perhaps she didn't hear me. Yeah, I just bailed there, brother. She's really distracted. I put the melon bread wrapper that she had left behind in my pocket and turned to leave. I reluctantly left the special atmosphere of the garage behind me. Yeah, she's like very focused, very intense. I imagine she'll come up again later. She looked like, you know, I imagine she's probably one of the 6 girls or whatever. Or one of the 5 girls I imagine that we can date, but without actually knowing that. But we'll see. Well then, maybe I should head back. By the time I finished watching the various clubs, the sky was orange as the sun was setting.
あ、いた。
Oh, there you are. Agaha was at the school gates. Agaha looks towards me and points the cell phone she's holding at me.
まだ残ってたら一緒に帰ろうと思って何回もかけたのにちっとも出ないんだもん。
I thought that if you were still here, we could leave together. I called you several times, but you didn't answer. I told Agaha that I would look at the club activities before leaving.
着信履歴見てみ。
Could you look at the call history? I left it at the dormitory.
はあ？なんで？それじゃ携帯の意味ないじゃん。
Huh? Why? That defeats the purpose of having a cell phone. Doesn't it say in the school rules that you can't bring cell phones to school?
そうだけど、そんなの守ってる子いないよ。
Yeah, that's true, but does anyone actually follow that rule? It's alright if you don't get caught, it seems. In my case, I'm not so worried about the school rules. It's just too bothersome to carry a cell phone around with me.
せっかく番号教えてもらったのに、これじゃ意味なしだよ。
Even though I got your number, it doesn't mean anything. How do you know my number? 5 years ago, when I left Kazagura, I was still just a kid. I didn't have a cell phone.
さっきあんちゃんから聞いた。メアドも送ってもらったから、これからバンバンメールするね。
I got it from Anshan earlier. He gave me your text address too, so I can bombard you with texts. What? Don't bother. It's too much hassle. Writing text on a cell phone is too fiddly, which is a real pain, so I don't really like it. But it looks like Agaha isn't listening to me and has started walking on ahead.
じゃあ帰ろっか。
Okay, should we head back? Yeah, let's frickin' go, man. Let's frickin' go.
どうだった？転校初日は。
How was your first day at your new school? It seems like an interesting school. It was different to the sports schools or regular schools and had a special kind of atmosphere. Everyone looks like they enjoy it, and it's, how should I say, like they come here to hang out.
それは言えてるかも。みんなやりたいことがあって来てるからね。
You could say that. Everyone comes here because there are things that they want to do. Things they want to do.
入りたい部活は見つかった？
You found a club you want to join? I don't know. There are a few that seemed interesting, though.
うち運動部はあんまり盛んじゃないから、葵には物足りないかもね。
Here, the sports clubs aren't that great, so you might find them kind of lacking. What do you do, Agaha?
私はロボット部。ロボット作ってコンクールに出るの。
I'm in the robot club. We make robots and enter contests. Robots? That sounds interesting, too.
葵だったらいつでも大歓迎だ
You're
よ。
always welcome, Aoi. Yeah, I'll think about it.
それじゃあ、私こっちだから。
Well then, I'm going this way. Huh? Isn't your place around here?
ああ、引っ越したんだ。風見商店街が再開発でなくなったの知らないの？
Yeah, but I moved. Didn't you know that Kazumi Shopping Street is no longer there because of the reconstruction? No way, seriously?
でっかいショッピングモールができたの。うちの店もそこに入ってるんだよ。
They've made a huge shopping mall. My family's shop has moved there too.
また休みの日にでも案内してあげるよ。じゃ、また明
I'll
日ね。
take you there when we have a day off. Okay, see you tomorrow. Hey.
何？
What? Thanks for everything today.
いいっていいって。今度パフェでもおごってくれたらそれで十分。
It's fine, it's fine. If you just buy me a parfait next time, that'll be enough. No, I mean, that you are the same way towards me as in the past.
ああ、うん。
Sure. That was a big help.
私も葵が見た目以外変わってなくてよかった。
Me too. Apart from your appearance, you haven't changed a bit.
あ、見た目もそんなに悪くないよ。
And your appearance isn't that bad either.
極秘情報をリークするとね、今日だけでいろんな子から葵の携帯番号を聞かれたし。
This is leaking some secret information, but today, a few girls asked me to give them your phone number. Seriously?
訂正。スケベになったね、葵。
Correction, you've got quite an eye for the ladies, haven't you, Aoi? So what? I didn't have that kind of thing in an all-boys school.
まあ健全な男子である証拠か。しばらく会わないうちに大人になっちゃったんだね。
Well, it proves that you're a normal, healthy boy. In the time since we last met, you've grown up. Agaha looked happy as she said that. So have you. To be honest, I thought she would have grown up to be more rough and tomboyish.
だね。
That's right. Agaha started smiling quietly. Looking at that innocent smile reminds me of how Agaha was when she was just a kid.
おかえりなさい。葵。
Welcome back, Aoi. Yeah.
また明日からよろしくな。
See,
あいぽ。
see you again tomorrow, old buddy. Bam! Ow! She gave me a great big slap on the back.
じゃあね。
See ya! Agaha gave me a big wave and turned the corner. Ow, you doofus! She might have gotten a little cuter, but she hadn't really changed on the inside. Welcome back, huh? Her attitude hadn't really changed since before, but somehow I felt that it had saved me. I can see that, you know, like an anchor point for everything being new and weird and exciting. I can see that. It's like she's like your anchor. She's your rock. I can see that. After Agaha and I went our separate ways, I did the shopping for dinner on the way back. It's gonna be hot again tomorrow, so I have to give them some food that will give them stamina. Enthusiastically, I put the menu together in my head. Oh no, I forgot to buy milk. There was a convenience store right in front of me. 5 years ago, there was a tobacconist here? I'm assuming it's like some place that sells tobacco, I imagine. It's a little expensive, but I don't have time to go back to the supermarket. I thought to myself. Anyway, look who it is. The automatic doors opened, and the one with the self-proclaimed cool allure left the shop. She had a bag on her lap and had a smile on her face which was the exact opposite of cool. She didn't notice me and went back in the direction of the dorm. It's her. She didn't go to school, so what is she doing? I gave up on buying the milk and followed Kotori. Well, that's kind of sketchy. Oh, well, I mean, if she's going back to the dorm, then that's not at all sketchy, because he has to go back there too, so I guess it's fine. Anyway, when she got back to the dorm, Kotori opened the front door just slightly.
あと。
Hat! She called Hat from the other side of the door and spoke to him about something. She was sneaking around and seemed really suspicious.
あいつがいないか見てきて。ほら、あいつよ。あの意地悪な男子。
I like how he's behind her. Anyway, go and see if he's here or not. You know, that guy, the mean boy. Why is he mean? He seems pretty laid back to me. Is she talking about me? This is the girls' dormitory, so I'm the only boy here. I don't remember being mean, though. I don't know why, but it would appear that she is sneaking around to avoid being found by me. If that's how you feel, I headed for the back door to the dorm. I'll hide in the kitchen for now.
わわ
Shh. If this is about me, tell her I'm not here.
わ。
I doubt that he got the message, but wiggled his butt as he left the dining hall and headed for the entrance. While I am waiting in ambush, I'll put the food I bought in the fridge. After a little while...
いないみたいね。よしよし。
Does she speak duck? How does she know? Anyway, it looks like he's not here. Alright. When Kotori came into the dining hall, she went straight for the cupboard and took out a spoon. Without taking out a dish, she stayed seated in her wheelchair. She put the shopping bag from the convenience store on the table. Inside was... I think that's that German ice cream, basically, but I think that they changed the name because, you know, like copyright and all that jazz. It's like Haagen-Dazs ice cream, I think, is what that's trying to say. Anyway, needless to say, it was top quality ice cream. I've never had Haagen-Dazs ice cream, so I can't say if it's good or not, I don't know. Anyway, not only that, but it was a family size. It's a big pot that costs 2,500 yen. I don't know how much that is in US dollars, so I don't know if that's a lot or a little. She opened the lid, and in her right hand, she had the type of spoon that you'd eat things like curry with.
やるわよ。ついに。
I'm finally gonna do it. Kotori's spoon was still above the smooth surface of the Haagen-Dazs, which, I mean, obviously that says Hargen-Darch, but you know what it's saying, obviously. You know what it's obviously talking about. Then she dug a big hole in it. One scoop like that would be about 100 yen, and she stuffed the whole thing in one mouthful.
幸せ。
I'm so happy. She brought her hand into her cheek as though she was flooded with happiness from the bottom of her heart. What is she doing? Seeing what she was doing made hiding and watching her seem pretty ridiculous. Without knowing I was watching, Kotori began to shovel in more ice cream like a construction machine. Even if it was only 105 yen ice cream, you'd savor the flavor more than that. With the next mouthful of ice cream, Kotori suddenly lowered her head, holding her temples. I asked the old brain freeze.
大丈夫。ちょっとキーンときただけ。
I'm okay. Just a little brain freeze. To be able to get brain freeze from eating too much Haagen-Dazs is the very height of luxury. During this little pause, Kotori opened up her notebook. There is something written there. I sneak up a little closer behind her. Shh. He's like, shut up, you stupid duck. Next to the words, eat as much Haagen-Dazs as I want, Kotori happily wrote the word done.
Mission complete.
Mission complete. It seemed to be some sort of list. It's like her bucket list. Is she dying? Does she has a bucket list because she's dying? Is that what's happening? Things I want to do. There was a title, and there were some bullet points below. Stroke the head of a big dog in the neighborhood. It's really scary, but it might be unexpectedly friendly. If possible, I'd like to ride around on its back. How big is this dog? Fill the bath with water and swim in it like a pool. How big is the bath? Pie throwing, and so on. Among those was go and see Windmill Hill, with done written next to it. What is this? I guess he said that out loud. Whoa! Kotori's scream pierced from my right ear and out of my left. What are you doing? Why are you here? I was here before you were here. But there's no way. Her mouth was open in shock as she looked at Hat. He's like, what? I'm just a duck. Well, I guess it's no good sending a duck to scout the place out. Even if he was able to completely grasp what his responsibility was, there's no way he could convey the message. Yeah, I mean, she probably doesn't even speak duck. Kotori seemed ashamed and looked away. I'm sorry I surprised you. You were sneaking around, so I wondered what you were doing. I didn't mean to spoil her impersonal enjoyment. You really are mean. He's like, I didn't do anything! I went back to the kitchen to get things ready for dinner. Kotori's face seemed to say, now it only tastes half as good, as she sulkily ate the ice cream. Why are you taking time off school? I caught a cold. Yes, of course, you seem very sick. She's blatantly lying. Would someone who has caught a cold be eating ice cream? I'm the dorm mother, you know. I have to make sure the boarding students have the right kind of lifestyle. I don't remember accepting you as the dorm mother. Anyway. Sorry, I forgot I'm supposed to let them finish. Anyway, isn't it strange for a boy to be a dorm mother? Yes, it is. I don't even know what a dorm mother is officially, and I can tell you that it seems weird to me. She went to the trouble of turning around so that she could point at me. If you want to call me dorm father, then that's fine by me. I would take dorm father over dorm mother. Kotori turned back around and went back to enjoying her ice cream. If you weren't at school, then where were you? I softened my tone a little as I asked her. It's got nothing to do with you. Did you go back to Windmill Hill? She's ignoring me and eating her ice cream. It has got something to do with me. I won't accept you as the dorm mother. I don't mean that. I don't mean that. Yesterday, if you hadn't been passing by, where would you be right now? If you're not careful in a place like that, then maybe nobody would have come. If you can't move your wheelchair, what would you have done by yourself? Do you still think that's got nothing to do with me? He's like, I'm not mad that you're ditching school. He's like, I'm concerned because what if something happens to you? He's like, you know? So, you know, he's like, I'm just being caring, that's it. Anyway, I think I went too quick, but I think he said, so do you still think it has nothing to do with me? Anyway, I'm not accusing her of anything. That's why I tried to speak as gently as possible, as to not sound too harsh. However, I showed her how serious I was. Look, I said thank you, didn't I? For me to thank anyone is extremely rare, you know.
本当よ。オオサンショウウオくらい希少なのよ。逆に感謝してほしいくらいだわ。
It's true. It's as rare as a giant salamander. You should be the one thanking me. That's really specific. Are you proud of that? Do you think that people would be happy because it's so rare? You're severely mistaken. Kotori seemed daunted by this sound argument, put down the spoon, and started thinking seriously.
でも私こんなだから何もできない。
But because I'm like this, I can't do anything.
アイス食べる？高いやつよ。
Do you want some ice cream? It's really expensive. No, I don't. I sounded a little mean, so Kotori became tearful all of a sudden. Her cheeks were quivering as she desperately tried to hold back the tears. Hey, I'm sorry, I was joking. Don't make that face.
別に普通だもん。
It's nothing, I'm fine. That's right, see, you're fine.
ガーガー。
Hat quacked as though he was trying to cheer Kotori up. I wouldn't tell you to say thank you, would I? It's just that if you go out without telling anyone where you're going, it's kind of dangerous, you know? She wiped the corner of her eye a little with her finger.
わかるけどわかりたくない。
I understand, but I don't want to understand.
わかるわけにはいかない
Do
の。
I have to understand? Somehow that's what the look on her face said. She put the spoon down and went to leave the dining hall. Where are you going?
顔洗ってくるの。アイスで口の周りがベタベタするから。
I'm going to wash my face. It's all sticky around my mouth from where I've been eating ice cream. Sniff. She closed the notebook and put it on her lap. Then a piece of paper fell from the notebook. You dropped something. Kotori looked as though she hadn't heard and left the dining hall. Hat went after her. As the sound of the wheelchair getting further away, I let out a big sigh. Maybe I said too much. It's just that I really was worried about her. I don't know anything about what's going on with Kotori, so perhaps I was unnecessarily interfering. Wait a minute, flashback. Speaking of which, she was wearing her uniform. However, she was wearing her own clothes yesterday when she went to Windmill Hill. Could it be that she was actually planning on going to school? That's possible, isn't it? I mean, that's true, that seems oddly specific. As I thought of that, I felt my mood lighten a little, and I picked up the piece of paper that she had dropped. Huh? For a moment, I couldn't believe my eyes. It was a notice for withdrawal from the school. Interesting. Looks like she is. Maybe she's thinking about it, or maybe they're telling her we're gonna kick you out if you don't get your act together.
元気出しなって葵くん。
Yeah, cheer up, Aoi. I was depressed while I was cleaning up after dinner, and Kaneko came to comfort me. Why? Why did everyone leave so much uneaten?
ちゃんと美味しかったよ。
It was really tasty, though. For tonight's dinner, Kaneko was the only one who ate all of her food. Without exception, everyone else left some uneaten. Tomorrow, I'll make even more tasty food, so tasty that no one will leave anything uneaten. I felt renewed determination, and then the duck came waddling into the dining hall.
ハット先輩、ガンチャース。
Hello, Senior Hat.
わわ。そっか、お腹空いてんだね。葵くん、なんか食べるものある？
I see you're hungry. Aoi, do you have something for him to eat? There's some vegetables left over.
それでいいよ。
That'll do. Kaneko took the leftover vegetables and fed them to Hat. Is this duck her pet? Are you allowed to have pets here?
よ。誰のペットでもないよ。
Nope, he's no one's pet.
私がここに来る前から住み着いてたの。誰がいつどうして持ち込んだのかは不明。
He's been living...
だからハット先輩。
Oh, sorry, she wasn't done. He's been living here since before I came here. It's not clear who brought him here or when. That's why I call him Senior Hat. So the owner must be keeping him.
それが違うんだって。いつの間にかいたって言ってたよ。
No, that's not it either. She said that Hat just appeared one day.
だからペットっていうより同居してる感じかな。
That's why, rather than being a pet, he's more like a housemate. Kotori also called him a housemate. It's a mystery. Once she had finished feeding Hat, Kaneko got out of her seat.
さてと、一っ風呂浴びるかな。
Okay, I think I'll go take a bath. Don't go walking around in your underwear again, okay?
なんでよ。いいじゃん、夏なんだし。
Why not? Come on, it's summer. No.
ケチ。
Spoil sport. Kaneko gave me a quick insult as she left the dining hall. Why does everyone have to insult me just before they leave? I felt a little hurt as I cleaned the dishes. Peek. This time, it was Kotori poking her head into the dining hall. It was almost as if she was waiting for Kaneko to leave before she came in. She doesn't seem to get along well with her, so maybe she really was waiting for her to leave. I thought she might have to come to have dinner, but she appeared to be looking for something. Probably the paper she dropped. And she doesn't want to ask you about it. She's looking under the table. Hat, you're in the way. She went around the table once and then came past the counter in front of me. Hey, have you seen a piece of paper? No, I haven't. What kind of paper? Paper is paper. Are you sure you haven't seen it? Positive. Oh, you liar. You did see it. Don't be a pest. Kotori groaned while staring at my face as if she were trying to see if I was telling the truth, which she wasn't. With a straight face, I wiped the dishes with a towel. With no way to check, she went to look elsewhere. I'll put your dinner in the fridge, heat it up in the microwave, and eat it later, okay? I couldn't help lying to her. The thing she was looking for was the withdrawal notice that I'd picked up. People were worried that if it carries on like this, she'll stop coming altogether. It looks like she's not really enjoying school. Agaha's word crossed my mind. It looks like Kotori really is planning to drop out of school. What am I doing? Why didn't I give the withdrawal notice back to her? I know! There I stood, not even really understanding those feelings myself. Like, you can't prevent her choice, dude. Like, you can... I mean, I feel like you could probably be like, hey, man, like, I think you'd have fun. Stick with it, or whatever. Like, you know, talking her into staying is fine, but you shouldn't withhold the notice. That's like withholding her choice or whatever. Like, in worst case scenario, she probably could just get another withdrawal notice. You know what I mean? It's not gonna stop it. It's like a childish thing to do. Anyway, I digress. Regardless, though, yeah, I think it's the same words at the bottom every time. I think that's the same ones. I think it's just a transition into a different time. You know. Oh, this chair. I'm trying to get used to sitting in my actual computer chair again, and everything hurts. Good morning, Agaha. Oh, sorry. I forget, escape doesn't open the menu. It just minimizes the game. It's a good thing it doesn't close the game, otherwise I'd be pretty sad. Alright, save. This is the one where I played like 10 seconds into the game, so... That's weird. The mouse moves on its own, by the way. Just so you're aware, when I hit this, yeah, that part, I don't touch that. And then it moves back. That's really weird. Also, I'm assuming they're asking you, hey, are you sure you want to overwrite? So that's interesting. Anyway, I mean, obviously I don't know that, but it's what I assume. Regardless, though, that was a lot of fun, and I think that'll be a good place to stop, and I think we will call it there. But yeah. From what I understand, I think I remember seeing that this is a longer visual novel. This one, you know, I mean, it makes sense depth-wise. It feels a little bit more in-depth, and obviously there is 5 routes, so we will be doing all of them. I believe, if memory serves, Kotori is the first route, so she is the first romance we will be going for. I think there is a total of 5, I believe. So I don't know how long this one will take, but we will see. Of course, obviously the first route will be the longest one, I imagine. I mean, without knowing the lengths of them, just because everything is new. Whereas after that, we can skip up until our first choice. So that cuts out a lot of extra time from, you know, after that route. So anyway, regardless though, I'm looking forward to it, and hope you guys are as well. And so tomorrow is Tuesday. That is my Monday, my first day of work. So otherwise, schedule-wise and uploading-wise, we should still be on track. We should be doing, and now that I hung my little whiteboard here, I can have a handy-dandy cheat sheet on what parts we're on so I don't lose track. But... anyway, sorry, I hit my computer on accident, and I thought for a second I'd accidentally turned it off or something. But yeah, we should be on part 3, I believe, of Far Cry 4, and then it should be part 2 of this. So, I plan on recording after I get home, like normal, depending on how bad my day goes, because if there's anything goes wrong, my side game gets kicked to the curb first, because if work is lousy and I get home and I am not there mentally, then I obviously don't really want to record and put up crappy content. So I'm planning on recording, but it's a little up in the air depending on how badly my day goes at work. We will see. Regardless though, that is going to call for this one. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the content today, and we will talk to you guys later.